All right, this is Math 7, Unit 7.2. This is about median and range. We're doing page 264, number 1, 2, 3, and 6. In your book B, this is the answer key. Again, if you're not in my class, make sure you have permission from your teacher before you view this video in its entirety. So 1, it says find the median and the range of each set of data. So to find the median, we know we need to put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So you do that. One way I do it is as I write, I actually will kind of lightly cross out the numbers as I write them down. That way I know which ones I've written down. And once you have it from least to greatest, we know median is the middle number. So from side to side, cross one from the bottom, then one from the top, one from the bottom, one from the top. We'll either end up at one number in the middle or 2. Here we have 1, so the median is 90. We also need to have the range. Now the range, we remember, is the biggest number, subtract the smallest number. So the range will be 100 subtract 80. So our range is 20. Okay, part B. Again, we need to write from least to greatest. You can leave off the unit and just put it in your answer, so you don't have to write kg over and over. All right, I've ordered them from least to greatest. There are 8 numbers I counted just to make sure, and yes, there's 8 numbers in my list in my book. So cross off from 1 from each side. Oh, we had 2 in the middle there. I went too far. 2 in the middle, right? Which means we need to therefore find the middle number between these. So if we think about it, the difference between 30 and 21 is 9. What's half of 9? That's 4.5. So add 4.5 to this bottom, and we'll get that our median is 21 plus 4.5, which is 25.5. Another way to do it is to take 30 plus 21, divide by 2. 30 plus 21 is 51, divide by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So that's another way you could have gotten that answer. We also need to find the range. The range is the biggest number, subtract the smallest, so it's going to be 85 subtract 12, which is equal to 73. Now, we remember we had kilograms in our question, and we got rid of them. We need to put them back. So we need to put our kg and our kg back in here, and I need to say that this is my range. I like boxes around answers so it stands out. This would be out of 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4 for question 1. All right, we have a bunch of grade 7 students and some grade 6, 8 classes. There's class A and class B. These are the marks that they got out of 15 on a quiz. The same quiz both classes had. We need to find the median mark for each class. So looking through, we just take one from the top, one from the bottom until we get to the middle. Now there's 10 students, so that means it's an even number. So we're going to have to find the average of these two. So for class A, it's going to be 12 plus 13 divided by 2. 12 plus 13 is 25 divided by 2. Why did I write it plus sign? That's weird. So this would be 12.5 is the median for that. Class 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Both the same numbers, so that means that the median is 12. It's just the same number, that's just what it is. Okay, so for part A, that's 2 marks right there. Part B says we need to find the range. So we take the top and subtract the bottom. So class A, it's going to be 15 subtract 8, which is equal to 7. And B, we take 14 subtract 10, which is 4. So looking at this, oh, that'll be 2 marks. So this is our range. I'm just going to write these in. Okay, for finding the range is 2 marks each. Part C, it says, which class do you think is doing better? Explain. Now, the answer key doesn't actually give an exact answer. It gives some ideas of what it could be. Actually, the answer key does say, they say that Class A is doing better, and there's a few reasons why. One reason is the median mark for Class A is greater than the median mark for Class B. If you look at it, Class B, the average middle person in the class, half the class is doing worse than 12, right? And half is doing better. If you look at that same number 12, you'll see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 10, 70% are doing better than what 60% are. So they're actually doing better overall. There's a few kids that are doing worse by quite a bit. So they'd be outliers. This would probably bring the mean down. And yet there you have 15, which is even greater than 14, which would bring it up. So on average, using median, we would say that Class A is actually doing better. Another reason why this would be is also the range of Class A is quite wider, and yet most people are still scoring higher than what most people in Class B are. So either way, looking at it, Class A would be doing better. Your reasons why, I'm not sure, but I'll give this out of 1 mark because it's important to recognize what this data is telling you. If you have questions, leave it in the comments in Google Classroom. So question 3, we're supposed to find the mean, median, mode of a bunch of different number sets. I'm going to use a chart at the top just to kind of keep track of my answers, but I'm going to show the work below. I'm just looking ahead that we have to use these answers in part B to actually answer some questions about it. So I think having a chart might make it easier for me to see it. So part AI, we had some numbers 4, 5, 7, 8, and 11. So we need to find the mean, median, and mode. Well, the mean, we just need to add all these numbers up. We've got 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 7 is 16, plus 8 is 24, plus 11 is 35. So 35 divided by the 5 numbers, it's going to be 7. So our mean for the first one is 7. The median is the middle number. These are already in numerical order, which makes this one easy. So the median is 7, it's the middle one. And the most common, there is no mode because there's no number that's more common than the others. Let's go to, sorry, not B, II. We've got some numbers here. We've got, I'm going to put them in order as I write them just so that I can order them in a way that I can solve my median. I'm just copying them down in order from least to greatest. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just to make sure I have the right amount. Yes, I do. Okay, so looking here, we need to add all of those up and divide by 6. So we're going to add up and divide by 6. 50 plus 50 is 100, 155, plus 60 is 100, plus 70 would be 360. I'm just going to check that again. 70 plus 70 is 140, plus 60 is 200, 255, 305. Just realizing I wrote down one of the numbers wrong, and that's why my answer key that I have on the side here is not lining up. This is actually 65. You probably added the ones I wrote down and got 355, but it's 360 because that's 5 more. Okay. And then 36 divided by 6 is 6, so 360 divided by 6 is 60. So our mean is 60. Go back here. What is the middle 2 numbers? There's 2 of them. It's an even number in the set, so that means that we have 2 middle numbers. What's halfway between 55 and 65? Halfway between is 60. So that means that median is 60. And then finally the mode, which is the most common. Well, we've got 2 that there's 2 of, right? We've got 50 there's 2, and there's 70 that's 2, that are both more than what there is of 55 and 65. So that means we actually have 2 modes. We have 50 and we have 70. They're both modes. Question III, or 3. It's lowercase Roman numerals. We have 7. We have 63. We have 68. We have 71. And we have 71. I'll check that to make sure I don't make the same mistake. 1 plus 1 plus 8 is 10, plus 3 plus 7 is 10 more, which is 20, so carry the 2. 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 6 is 14, plus 7 is 28, so it's 280 divided by 5 of them. 280 divided by 5, using some long division, is 56. So 56 is our mean. Our median is the middle number of these, which is 68. And our mode, the most common, is 71. Part IV. Let's put them in order. We've got 6, 13, 13, 13, and 20. Whew. All right, add these all up. Well, 3 times 13 is 39, plus 6 is 45, plus 20 is 65, divided by 5, because there's 5 numbers. 65 divided by 5 equals 13. So our mean is 13. Our median is the middle number, which is 13. And our mode is the most common, which is also 13. So all three are the same. Okay, let's go to part B. The first dot asks, which data sets have the same values for the mean and median? So the mean and median being the same number. So i's, that's true. 60, both are the same. So I is true. And 13 and 13 are the same. So that's true. So I, and IV have the same values for median and mode. Sorry, mean and median. Values for mean and median. Not same as each other, but same for their own set. And what do you notice about the numbers in each set? What you'll notice about this, let's look at this one, IV. You'll notice that the difference between 6 and our mean, 6 and 13, is 7, right? And the difference between our top number here and our mean, the middle number there, our median as well, is 7. 20 subtract 13 is 7, and 13 subtract 6 is 7. So what could be redistributed here is 7 of these could go there, and all of these could become 13. So that's what you'd write for that. There's lots of different ways to word it. You'll also notice that with some of these other ones, if they had kind of same amount on either side. If we look here, our 70 is 10 more than 60, and our 50 is 10 less than 60. We'll notice here, 11 is 4 more than 7, whereas this one here, 4 is 3 less than 7. So they're not the same distribution, but if you think about it, it's because there's these other values that are also not the same distribution. This is 1 more, this is 2 less. So that's 2 less. And this is 3 less. Sorry, subtract 2, subtract 3. This is 1 more, and this is 4 more. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. These will add up to an equal absolute value of 5 on either side. That's something that you could write for that. I'm not giving a mark for that, though. The next one says something that has the same mean, median, and mode. There's only one that's that, and that's number 4. Has the same mean, median, and mode. It's all three, mean, median, and mode. Okay. And it also says here, what do you notice about the numbers in each set? Well, the least number in the data set is about the same distance from the mean as the greatest number in the data set. The data are evenly distributed about the mean, and the mean and the median are the numbers that occur most often. So it's interesting, the mean is actually the one that also occurs the most often. That's the only reason that the mean and the median would be the same. And the mode is if the mean happens the most often. Finally, This next one says different values for mean, median, mode. So all of them are different. So looking here, which one has all different? Well, it's only part 3. Has all different mean, median, and mode. And it also says here, what do you notice about the numbers in each set? Well, the data are not evenly distributed around the mean. If you look at the data in this one, 7 is a whole lot less than these other ones, right? Which means that our mean is getting brought down by this 7. This 7 would be an outlier in this set of data. It brings that mean way down. And it's so significant that the median is so different from the mean. It's quite a bit different. And the mode, because there's 2 values that are higher, it would seem like an average higher. This set of data is one that maybe there'd need to be more testing if you got something like this, because you then get more results that would be closer to that value that is most commonly happening, and you'd end up getting these values a lot closer together. Now, to give marks for this, you're going to get 1 for each of these up here. If you only got one of the modes, you're only going to get a half mark for part II. So question 3A is out of 12, okay? And B, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks down here. 1 for each of those at the top, and then 1 for each of those. All right, this guy named Jamal is training for a 400-meter race. His times in seconds are these. I ordered them from least to greatest because I knew I was going to need to calculate median in part A, so I put them least to greatest. There's 5 different runs he went on. Let's find the median. Well, it's the middle one, so the median is 120, and we were told it was second, so S is second. Don't write SEC, that is incorrect. You need to put S for second. SEC means something else in math. Mode is 118, and we know that because it's the one that there's actually 2 of. There's more of it than others, so it's 118 seconds. So that's part A. Part B says Jamal wants his median time after 6 races to be 121 seconds. What time must he get in his 6th race? He wants to bring his median up to 120. He wants to increase it by 1, right? He wants to increase it by 1. Which means that we need to get a number that's going to be greater than 120 that's going to bring this number up, and it's going to need to fit right here in our set of data. If we think about it, the median, if there's an even number, so there's a 6th race, another one going in there, there's going to be 6, which means that this number 120 and some other number will need to average to make 121. Let's use some algebra here. It wants to be 121. We know that 120 plus this sum number divided by 2 is going to need to be that 121. That means that 120 plus x will need to be, let's multiply by 2 on both sides, will need to be 242. Okay, subtract 120 from both sides, and we're going to find out that x, that number that we want, is going to be 122 seconds. Okay, he's going to have to run 122 in order to make the median what he wants there. Another way to look at this, he's increasing it by 1, which means that that other number needs to be double whatever he wants to increase it by. Needs to make it double that, so increase. So 1 times 2 is 2, plus 120 would be 122. Now it says, suppose Jamal fell during one race and recorded a time of 210 seconds. So that's a lot slower than other ones. Which of the mean, median, and mode would be most affected? So what they're saying in part C is, what if we added onto this list, we added a 210, okay? So we've got these 6 values now. You'll notice that the median would be halfway between these two. So the median would be just 122. Our mode wouldn't have changed. It would still be 118. Why? Because he never ran another 210. Nothing would change. Whereas the mean would change greatly. This would bring the mean way up. It would bring it all the way up to 135.7 seconds when it was just 123.3 seconds before. I did some math not showing this, but that changed it greatly. It changed it by 12 seconds per race greater. So the mean is the thing that gets changed the greatest. This is why outliers, things that stand out, are so drastically important that we try to avoid or decide whether we're keeping that. Because chances are he's not going to trip very often unless he's really clumsy. So marks for this question, part A is going to be out of 2, part B is out of 1, and part C is out of 1. Which means this assignment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, plus that is out of 30.